You're watching Through the Looking Glass with Dr. Jenny Klein.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jenny Klein, and I've missed you, so I'm back with a new show for us all. It's about our feelings, fears, and fantasies, our pain and our pleasure, our problems, and our solutions. It's a time for us to get together, talk things over, think things over, and find out that we are not alone. Perhaps then we can all help each other make this world and our lives just a little bit better. Did you ever find yourself exploding with anger and don't really know why? Let's take a closer look at just that issue. Hi there, Joe. How are you?
Good, Dr. Klein. How are you?
Why, you don't look too happy.
Well, my employer told me to come for this freaking appointment.
Ah. Why?
They're saying, well, no, he's saying maybe you have an anger management issue. And I'm saying,
Do you?
no,
Oh, okay.
I'm good.
Why would he say that? Do you get angry at work?
Look, I have to supervise 6 knuckleheads.
Oh.
If they do what they have to do, I don't yell. I try not to yell. They make me yell.
How do they do that? They have a cord to your vocal cords or what?
No, they don't do what they're supposed to do. So if they don't do what they're supposed to do, what am I supposed to do?
With what?
I'll just put them in line. Put all my ducks in order.
Okay, who didn't do what they were supposed to do that you couldn't do anything about when you were young?
Who didn't do it?
Did you have a father?
Yeah. But
Yeah. Did he do
No,
what
you
he was
know, my
supposed
dad-
to do? Yeah.
Yeah.
What about your dad?
Yeah. Well, no, he did. My dad did what he was supposed to do, but he also used to say, you know, if I have to yell to get things done, that's the way it's going to be.
Oh, is that where you learned that from?
Well, he's right. When he yelled, we
That's-
got it done. So I don't know what these people are complaining about.
Well,
Look,
you're
I
just
would
doing
not
what your
yell.
dad did.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But he got things done. That's all I'm
Because
saying.
you were the knucklehead when you didn't do it.
Yeah, and that's what he would call us, knuckleheads.
That's what you're calling your employees.
Well, they are knuckleheads.
Well,
Knuckleheads are people who don't listen or do what it is that they're supposed to do.
and if you didn't do what you're supposed to do, that you were a bad, terrible boy.
Well,
You deserve to be yelled at.
yeah. Well, my dad told me that. My mom says, look, if your dad's yelling at it, there's a good reason for it.
Boy. Did he treat all the kids in the family that way?
Except my sister. I don't know why he never treated my sister that way.
Oh, he just gets angry at the boys, huh?
Yeah.
Well, maybe his father did the same thing to him that he did to you, and so therefore he didn't relate it to you don't do it to the girls, you only do it to the guys, right?
You're probably right. She got treated the best. I don't know why. I don't know.
She did everything she's supposed to do?
No.
Oh,
She got away with murder.
you got, wait a minute, you got two different
What?
deals there. One for the girls and one for the boys.
Oh, yeah, but I'm not going to bring it up.
Do you have any girl employees?
Yeah, I got the secretary and I got the...
When they don't do what they're supposed to do you explode with anger?
No. Why am I going to explode it?
At the
I don't see her
When
as
they
a
don't do
knucklehead.
it-
Well,
Wait a
you know
minute.
what? But the thing is, she's
Yes.
nice about it. These knuckleheads, you know, they roll their eyes, or they just, you know, they
Well, they
just
roll
look at
their
me
eye.
like I'm nuts.
Well, they roll their eyes because you've yelled at them before when they didn't do what they're supposed to do. And your father was right. You were a knucklehead when you didn't do what you were supposed to do, right?
Right.
And you were
No. Wait
You
a
have
minute. Did I
kids?
call myself a knucklehead?
No, I'm calling you that.
You're calling me a
Well,
knucklehead.
you're saying a knucklehead is a person who doesn't do what they're supposed to do,
Okay,
except
yeah.
if she's a girl.
Yeah.
Then it doesn't count.
Yeah, I guess so.
Wait a minute, a girl's still a person, right?
Yeah, but, you know, expectations are different. I don't know what it was. My dad had different expectations for us than he had for my sister.
Yeah, well, did you feel bad when he yelled at you? When you didn't do what you're supposed to do? Did you feel
I didn't
bad?
feel good.
All right. So you kind of put yourself down, too, because you didn't do what you're supposed to do.
Well, I would say he was right. if he's yelling at me or trying to hit us or whatever he's trying to do, because you never know what was going to
It
come.
was your fault because you didn't do what you're supposed to do.
Well, I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do.
So
That's
who
why I
you-
got hit.
So isn't it, what's more painful, hating yourself for not doing what you're supposed to do or being mad at your dad for hitting you?
Never thought about it that way. But
You
I wasn't
bought-
mad at my dad.
You think you
that was his
deserved it.
job.
You deserved it. That was his job.
That's right. I
Well,
deserved it.
did you have friends who had dads who didn't do their job of fathering that way? They did it some other way?
Yeah, but I didn't think they did a good job.
Well, because your dad was the right one.
And that's
Your
what
dad
my
was
dad
the
told
only-
us.
Why
It's
didn't it
my way
apply
or the
to
highway.
Why didn't it apply to your sister?
I never asked, but I don't know. Maybe it's because he was. I don't know, because my dad wasn't always like that with my mom. Once in a while, but with my sister, I swear she got away with murder.
Yeah, murder is something you're not supposed to do.
Yeah, but it wasn't the worst. But it's true. We all hated it.
Hated what?
The fact that she would get away, and we would say it to her, not in front of my dad.
Well, it meant you were bad and she wasn't. Because dad yelled, it means you're bad.
It's not that she was bad, you know what I'm saying? She didn't always do what she was supposed to do. But see, we were always there to supposedly protect her. I don't know, that's really strange now you bring that up. Because she can get... Yeah, we were just responsible for her.
So sometimes you say, on the phone you said, sometimes I explode and I don't really know why. But your dad exploded and you really believed that you deserved it. Now, maybe you deserve to be corrected, but you don't deserve to be screamed at.
But it got it got us to do what we needed to do.
Out of fear.
Yeah, he put the fear of God in us. You're right.
Well, he wasn't God. He was your father. He's a person, not God. He was once 3 years old.
Yeah, in my head, he was God. He
Well,
called
I
whatever
know.
shots.
I
You know
know.
what I'm saying?
He was God, and God is perfect, and therefore you're the one that's wrong. And his behavior, whatever he did, was the right thing, and you continue to do it to your employees. If
But-
they don't do what they're supposed to do.
Because they're knuckleheads.
And he called you a knucklehead, too, didn't he?
Yeah, but that's right. See, if they're knuckleheads, I'm okay.
If
But
I was a knucklehead, or I didn't do what I was supposed to do, then everybody else is a knucklehead, except for your sister, when they don't do what they're supposed to do. So that you have taken your dad's thing as gospel truth from God and continued it in that exact circumstance with your employees. And tell me, how popular are you with those people you yell at?
look, my job is not to be popular. My job is to get the job done.
Right.
And that's what I told my boss. And he goes, well, can't you do it in a different way? I said, "What do
Good
you-"
question. You can't, because that's your dad's way. You got to find your own way,
No.
man.
You're right. And I told him, do I get the result? He goes, yeah, but a lot of people quit. I said, that's not my problem.
That's a result.
Right.
You
Because if
lose
they
your
had some
employees.
spine, they would stay.
Well, you were stuck as a kid. There was nowhere you could go but the Army. Did you ever leave to go to the Army?
Thought about it.
Why? Because you want to get out of your dad's knucklehead thing.
I just want adventure. That's what I said to myself anyway.
You've passed on what you believed you deserved from your father
You think?
over, yeah, it's exactly the same thing, honey. Isn't it? You're
Yeah, but
pretty
I don't see but the thing is, I get results.
Yeah.
See, people don't like the way I do it.
Yeah, that's right. You're right. You get results and then the employee leaves and you got to train somebody else.
Yeah, but if they had spine, they wouldn't leave.
What?
If they had spine, my dad used to say, look, if you got backbone, you're going to do what, you're told to do. And that's what I say about these guys. Same thing.
That's right, but when you scream at them when they don't, instead of correct them, then they leave the firm and you lose the employee and have to train someone else. And if you keep doing it the same way, you'll lose more employees.
That's what my boss said.
He's right.
He goes, I may have to get rid of you. I said, for what? I said, I'm giving you the results. See, that's the problem. I don't understand. You know,
They
I have
do.
goals that I have to meet, and I meet the goals.
Right.
And now he's saying to me that I'm not doing, you know, the way I'm doing is not the right way to do it.
The way your father raised you was not the right way to do it either. You correct a boy, you don't scream at him. Little kids don't know, and they have to be taught, honey, you can't do that because then the toilet will overflow. You can't put all that stuff in it. You don't scream at them because then they'll understand and they won't carry on the same thing with their son. Do you have children?
Yeah, but I'm not married anymore. That's because the ex started with her nonsense, too.
What do you mean her nonsense? She didn't do what you're supposed
Right.
to do. And you treated her the same way, and she left like your employees left.
Yeah, but I try not to yell. And she just drove me up a wall. That's the bottom line.
She drove you up a wall because your only response was the response you got from your dad. And hating yourself for not doing what you're supposed to do gets projected to someone else who doesn't do what they're supposed to do instead of deal with it in a different way, the way your boss said. You don't have a different way because that's the way you thought your dad, who was God, treated you, so therefore that's the way you do it. You have to rethink it, hon, because your wife left, the employees left, and you wouldn't be here unless you had a question about it.
Yeah, but
I'm
why can't they just adjust? That's all I'm saying.
They adjust and do it, but then they leave your management. They leave the firm. So the results you get are short-lived because you lose the employee that's been working there for a long time. And then you got to train somebody else. If you do it the same way, they'll leave eventually too. Most people take it personally when you yell at them. You took it personally too because that was God and you were a boy.
Yeah, but
And
I
they
think I'm okay with that now. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
yeah, because you put the value in Dad straightened me out.
yeah.
But the fact is he didn't realize your wife would leave you and your employees would leave you too. So you may have gotten them in that way to do what they're supposed to do out of fear, but that doesn't keep them here in your company. It didn't keep your wife here either. It made her leave. It's hurting you.
Yeah, I mean, it bothers me now that you're bringing it up because she called me a drill sergeant. Some of the employees said, he acts like a drill sergeant, and I feel bad about it in one way, but that's all I know. That's the way it works.
I know. That's all you know, Joe. But that's all you know because that's all you got from your dad. And you thought he was doing it for your best benefit, so you could do what you got to do. But then you carried it forward exactly like your dad. And what happens, there's a cost at the end of it. Your boss may get rid of you, your wife left you, and your employees leave. Did you get them to do what they had to do? Yes, you did. Did you contribute to their leaving? Yes, you did. They didn't like to be yelled at. See, if you yell at me, I'm going to have someone inside my mind say, you see, you are bad, you have failed, in order for me to not like you. I'll have to buy it. Most kids buy it when their father tells them that and yells at them. And most employees and orphan wives or husbands, whatever, are going to believe, oh God, they're mad at me, I must be bad. And so they leave rather than hate themselves for being bad. So there has to be another way. And the roots, I'm glad you came, because the roots of how you're dealing with your employees and your wife have had costs for you. It's looking like it's going to have a cost for your job. Therefore, you have to look at the roots and see what you did with it when your godfather yelled at you and you got yourself, instead of hating yourself, you did what you're supposed to do. And you got mad at everybody else who doesn't.
Yeah,
It's going to hurt you, man.
you know, I don't even realize I'm doing it.
I know that.
You know?
That's what you said on the phone. You said
Yeah.
sometimes I get so mad and I don't even know why. I explode and I don't know why. Because all that anger that never could go back at your father for being so rough on you. He could have told you another way. He didn't know another way, and you're going the same way as your dad. All that anger, you don't know what to do with. You certainly couldn't yell back at your dad. He was too formidable to yell back at. So you took the blame on yourself because you didn't do what you're supposed to do. There's a way of saying, listen, son, you did this way. That's not the right way. You're supposed to put the cap on the gasoline thing and leave and do it the right way. And you cannot leave it like that because this is what can happen. You don't want that to happen, would you? Huh? Rain in the car and we couldn't go anywhere, right? Okay. So instead of yelling at you, I'm explaining that why it's wrong and what is the right way. Young people don't know a lot of things. They have to be taught, but not with screaming and not with putting them down.
I just don't have the patience.
You weren't given the patience, and you have to be kinder to yourself for continuing this belief that you're bad if you didn't do what you're supposed to do. You're such a criminal. You've never been a criminal. You just didn't do what you're supposed to do, and you weren't told in a way that you knew how to tell others in a way that works, and they don't leave you like your wife and your employees.
You know, but I see those people as wimpy. The ones who just, you know...
Well, you saw your dad as God, and God is strong, and he strikes lightning in the sky, and he does all kinds of things. But you know what? You thought your dad knew the right thing to do. It wasn't the right way to raise a boy, to yell at him. It is correct that they have to tell people, you have to do what you have to do. You have to do what you have to do. It's a good thing to teach, but not by screaming and hitting. All they learn is that they're bad, rather than just be corrected because they're young.
I feel guilty because I'm raising 2 kids that way.
Well,
I mean, they do what they're supposed to do in school and whatever, but
they're going to wind up with the same feeling like a guilty dog if they didn't do what they're supposed to do, rather than learning and say, okay, why didn't I do it? And now I have to do it, and learning something without being hit or screamed at. So you have to break the chain here, or they won't. Your grandchildren will hear what you heard from your dad. You don't want that to happen when your kids grow up, do you?
I don't want it to happen, but, you know, it happens automatically.
I know, it's automatic, and that's why we're talking about it. It is automatic. It's an instant reaction.
Yeah.
Instant reaction. I see a traffic light and it's red and I stop the car. What if I'm in another country where red means go? I'm going to stop the car and they're going to bang into me from the back, right? Because that's what I'm going according to what I learned. And in this country, it doesn't work. I'm going to go and ask in English until they walk away from me because they don't speak English.
No, now I don't know how I feel. A part of me is frustrated. Part of me feels guilty. Part of me feels like, you know, it works, but it doesn't work, is what you're saying.
No, it doesn't. It hasn't been working. Your wife left, and your employees are leaving, and your boss wants to fire you and make you leave.
He's a knucklehead. Because if he would realize,
if he could realize and say, but that's not his job to help you understand why you're doing this. And he could talk, he's just going to fire you. That's like, you know, that's not like yelling at you, but he's going to fire you. The fact is, the only person that can change that in seeing how you thought your dad was right and you were wrong is you. You can change that. The anger comes up because you couldn't get angry at your dad for yelling at you. He was much more powerful than you. So the anger goes to someone else who's not doing what you tell him to do.
but I'm always feeling like this inside.
Yeah.
You know, if things are going okay, I don't feel that bad. But when I start seeing it, all of a sudden, I feel this. And I'm not sure what that is. It's just like
It's a conflict
Yeah, yeah.
between what and what?
Between the fact this knucklehead's not doing what they're supposed to be doing, so plus it's like, well, just let it go. Just don't overreact or whatever. And
That's your head talking.
yeah,
And your anger from the past comes up immediately because it's triggered by someone not doing what they're supposed to do. That's what you were yelled at for.
yeah.
you
It
couldn't-
feels like I'm walking on eggs.
That's right. And the anger that you felt when your dad was yelling at you. Don't tell me you didn't feel anger at him.
Yeah, but I couldn't. Yeah.
Way to go. Right.
I used to get really bad stomach aches when I was a kid. I mean, I could not be around my dad when we were
Well,
kids.
because all the anger was sitting there grinding your guts.
Yeah, especially at the dining room table. He would start up. I didn't even feel hungry. I just, because, you didn't know. You just didn't know
No.
when he was going to go off.
And the problem is that people don't understand there is no time in the mind. So that when things are triggered at the dinner table or something like that, and your wife is whatever, and you yell, because she's not doing what she's supposed to do, she's supposed to serve this, she didn't serve that, whatever, she finally left. But the fact
Yeah,
is...
she walked out after a dinner because I flipped out about the food and whatever, and I said,
I didn't
And
know
she
that.
goes, and she said, well, you didn't know it, but she goes, I had it. That's it. And I said, what is your problem? And she goes, that's it. I can't take it anymore.
Well, because she's taking it very personally, and she's not saying, listen, you have a problem, and I don't like it when you yell at me. And she never could say that. She just left.
No, she never said it.
People don't understand this on either end, whether they're getting yelled at, like you didn't understand it, you thought Dad was God. Or the one yelling. They don't understand it because they don't come to understand it. They'll say, listen, I love you. I don't like you yelling at me. We need help. We have to understand what you're yelling about.
But you want to hear something crazy? She said, you're getting like my dad.
Oh, there you go.
I'm there,
So
what
who's
are
she
you
leaving?
talking about?
Who's she leaving?
Well, according to you and what you're saying, she's probably leaving her dad. She thinks
Yeah.
I'm her dad.
Well, she's leaving there's a whole lot of anger that she stored in her gut that she couldn't answer her dad with, that she had to leave before she started arguing with you, because she couldn't argue with your
Yeah,
dad,
she used to
and
walk
you couldn't
away.
either. There you go. You're a bright guy. What is this business you're in? What kind of work do you do?
I do what called carpentry.
Okay, you do carpentry.
Yeah.
And is there a right way or wrong way to lay carpet?
Not carpet, carpentry. We would
Carpentry.
Yeah.
Oh, I misunderstood
Yeah.
you. Okay, I misunderstood you. So it's carpentry.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, when you build things,
Right.
they are put together in a particular way, right?
That's what I say.
Right. And if they are put together in the right way, they withstand a lot of stress when you have a dresser or a ladder or something.
See,
right?
you see it the way I see it.
Right. When we treat children a certain way, we construct within them an idea of good enough or not good enough. I'm good enough or not good enough. That keeps them together with themselves, not in conflict all the time. When they're yelled at, they're in conflict all the time, and the nails don't go in straight. In other words, they're not strong inside. They may be tough on others, but they're not strong because it's a wobbly structure, because you're always worried about if I did it right or not. So whatever we build within ourselves is not really a good put together structure that's not going to crack under strain. Just like carpentry.
Right.
So we have to have things fit together. And it's hard for a kid to believe Dad isn't God. That doesn't fit together with the facts. He's not God. He's just a man. And you are not a terrible person because you didn't do what you're supposed to do. He was just letting his crap out on you, his self-hate out on you. That didn't do much for you. and you got together in a way that continued that process. Your wife left you, your employees are leaving you, you might get fired. And this is not a structure. You have to redo this idea that you're right the way your dad was right for yelling at people. Correct them? Absolutely. That's your job, but not that way. Your boss is right. You have to find another way. Your boss didn't understand that how we're constructed, that's the only way we know. But it's not working for you.
I'm just wondering if it's going to take a long time.
I want to see you next week, okay?
Okay, I'll be here, trust me, because this thing is...
I'm very glad you came. You show a lot of courage. Thank you. I'll see
Thank
you.
Okay.
And I just want to thank Eddie Nieves. You do these roles so well, year after year. Thank you. That's because you are...
I am the chair of the Department of Academic Enrichment at Kutztown University.
Right. And psych is your field,
Yes.
right?
Counseling
Okay.
and psych.
Thank you, Edwin Nieves, my dear friend. Thank you very much for a wonderful show, and thank you for watching and saying hello when I'm bopping around town. You can get to my website. It's drjennyklein.com, and you can give me a call. The stuff is all on the credits, numbers and all, and you just keep taking good care of yourself and looking through the looking glass. Bye-bye.
Dr. Jenny Klein would love to hear from you. Email her, jennyklein@gmail.com, or give her a call at 908-722-2933. If you'd like to see more, feel free, just go to drjennyklein.com.